My name is David Smay, and this year I've been working on a project called Primitive Hierarchical Processes and the Structure of a Single Note. It uses the theories of Lerdahl and Jackendorf as a jumping-off point to explore a possible modular cognitive flowchart for the perception of musical structure. The Lerdahl and Jackendorf model is very useful because it breaks the problem of tonal perception down into discrete phases that are strictly ordered. I modify this ordering by considering the perception of individual notes, which Lerdahl and Jackendorf simply took as given. Once one focuses on how sound is parsed and encoded, new processes come to light and a new ordering is suggested. I start by redefining grouping as two phenomena that go hand in hand: edge detection and continuity. An edge-finding processor would look for sudden discontinuities in the sound signal and mark these as the beginnings of new events. This process would seem to be very early in the cognitive sequence because it is necessary to define sonic objects. Ongoing sounds are judged to be continuous, and as they occur, each moment must be knit together into some kind of mental encoding. I suggest that this encoding is probably event hierarchical in nature. I look at the hierarchical structure of single events, which tend to be centered around a moment of attack. Events with slow attacks or gradual crescendos must involve some forward branching as the sound intensifies, followed by branching back as the sound decays. Thus, we have some event hierarchical organization before the relatively sophisticated apparatus of meter is even engaged. I try to expand this concept of pre-metrical hierarchy by developing unmetered multi-event stimuli that also exhibit an event hierarchy. So here is a series of unmetered sounds that are organized by relative amplitude. This pre-metric organization serves as the input to meter, which then predicts the recurrence of similarly spaced hierarchical strong points. Event hierarchy and meter enter into a feedback loop in which our expectation shapes and contextualizes our perception. Meter remains dependent on sounding events, however. New stresses and patterns will cause it to reset. Finally, I look at the phenomenon of odd or uneven meters as an example where event hierarchy entirely governs one level within the metric pattern, as opposed to regular projection. I consider a passage from Bartók's Fifth String Quartet as a concrete example. Thus, my flowchart ends up looking something like this. Grouping has become mostly edge detection. Continuity is hierarchically encoded according to what I call primitive processes. Meter receives this encoding and shapes it in a feedback loop. It's not completely worked out yet. We haven't even begun to account for tonal relations, but I think we are on the way to a flowchart that is more efficient and dynamic than the Lerdahl and Jackendorf model. If you'd like to read more about this project, please visit davesmay.com/papers. And thank you for listening to my presentation today.